Hey guys, Kakurete here with another review. This time I'll be reading the Hihou Yokai Emblem and Kaseki Mel Set 01 from Yokai Watch. This is the emblem of the Hihou Yokai Kurekurepatra, which can be used with the Yokai Pod to unlock new Yokai charges. So the set includes two things, the Hihou Yokai Emblem and one Kaseki Medal. So let's get started. To start off, we'll look at the included medal, which is the Kurekurepatra Kaseki Medal. Now, while Kaseki literally translates to fossil, in the context of these sets, a more appropriate translation would be an artifact medal. So, for these, they have the same outer rim design and same general molding for the medals, but in the case of the actual images, they look like full-on hieroglyphics. So they look even more like ancient artifacts than the normal treasure medals do. You can see that this does depict Kurekurepatra, though the coloring is a translucent white instead of her normal translucent yellow. And the design still is on the same on the back, where you can see the word treasure written out on both sides. So, to test this out, first we'll bring in the Yokai Watch Dream. So as you can see, it just recognizes it as treasure, so it doesn't really recognize the yokai that's on here. For that, we'll need to bring in the yokai pod, so we'll use the search mode.
Purichii, Kaseki,
And there we go. So, in this case, it recognizes it as a Purichii tribe Kaseki medal, and it is for the yokai Kurekurepatra. Next, we'll look at the Kurekurepatra Hihou Yokai Emblem. So, these are these small plastic pieces which have a YC chip laid into them, which are used to, as I said in the beginning, unlock new yokai charges when used with the yokai pod. So for Kurekuripatra's emblem, it is based on her. So it has the cobra emblem that is on her head, or on her forehead, as well as her wings on the sides. You can see there are a lot of ornate details molded into it. You can see the chip through here. Then on the back, you can see the symbols for the different tribes, as well as a QR code which is scanned in Yokai Watch 3, will get you a special coin. So, also this can actually be scanned using the yokai pod. But that's as far as it'll go on its own. So, in order to get more out of this, we'll need to use some medals. First off, we'll use the included Kurekurepatra Kaseki medal. So, first you set it in there, activate search mode, and so you can see that the sounds now change because it actually uses a mixture of the two chips together. So not only do we get the sounds from the medal and the emblem, but now with the two combined, you unlock a new Otakara charge, or treasure charge, that you can use for your medals. that's not all you can do with it, as and also take that out and bring in Kurekurepatra's Hihou yokai medal, and then put that in and get some new sounds. In this case, we'll basically get a special summoning sound for her. And so not only did we get a summoning sound for Kurekurepatra, but we also now created the Kurekure charge. And so we can further use that by bringing in the Yokai Magnum. So switch it over to Magnum mode. Then we'll scan it for the charge. And the interesting thing to note about using the emblems is that when you use it with the correct medal, instead of adding a 3-shot charge, it'll actually add a full 6-shot charge of that Yoki. But while we still have the charge on here, we then remove the medal and switch it to charge mode. Then we can use that to add the charge onto the Kurekurepatra medal. And then we have the charge onto this medal. However, that is not the only thing that can be done. For that, we can bring in some other medals, or at least one other medal. In this case, I'll bring in another Hihou yokai medal, and add it on there. And this can help us unlock some other charges. So, we'll switch back to search mode. Then tap it. Now it's found a Hagure Yoki, so to fully get the charge we need to rapidly press the button. And you can see we now have the Tempura charge on here. Now the cool thing about this is that it's not just one charge you can get from a Hagure Yoki charge. You can actually get a few different ones. And the thing to note about it is that these actually are technically random. So the chance of actually finding one depends on the rarity of the medal you put in here, with a bronze medal being the least or the lowest chance, and the Hihou yokai medal being the highest chance. So then, we can use that charge. Or put it onto a medal. Although, if you do that and you don't have a full 3 charge, it'll disappear. So let's try getting another one. So now we have the Hihou charge. So now we can use that one. And there we go. As a bonus, I'll also show you guys the Tori Hihou Yokai Emblem. This was a campaign item that was released on the same weekend as the Yokai Pod and Yokai Magnum set. And so I imagine that I got it because I pre-ordered the Yokai Magnum set well in advance. So, obviously for this one we have a different design. This one being based on a big fiery bird. You can see it does have some nice ornamentation and some details that make it stand out. You once again have the details on the back, as well as the QR code that you can scan for a special coin. So, for this we'll need to bring in the Tori Hihou Yokai Emblem, or Yokai Medal rather. So, place it in there, and bring back in the Yokai Pod. And first we'll scan it.
Isamashii.
There we have the Tori summoning sound, as well as the Tori charge. So, we'll once again bring in the Magnum gear. And we'll test it out. And then we can charge it onto the medal. Then we can test out a couple of the Hagure charges. Remember that when you have the Onara charge. And for those curious, both the Onara and Heibon charge both have to do with farting. Because, you know, it's a kid's toy and kids love fart jokes. So, let's test another Hagure charge. Then we have the Isamashii charge. And that actually has a nice little touch to it, because after it said Isamashii, it actually had the remaining phrase from the summoning sound for the Isamashii tribe on the original yokai watch. That is a very nice throwback. And there we go. So as you can see, the Hihou yokai emblems are very useful accessories for the yokai pod, in that not only do they get you new yoki charges that you can't get otherwise, but when used with their appropriate medals, they also get you some cool new summoning songs, which really also add to the idea that the yokai pod is kind of like something similar to the yokai watch, just in a different format with some different functions. So if you have a yokai pod or the yokai magnum set, and you also are collecting the treasure medals, then I definitely recommend picking up this yokai emblem as well as any others that come out. Now obviously the Tori emblem is also another one to have, but that is a campaign item, so you're probably only going to be able to find it on the aftermarket on places like eBay. So with that in mind, just know that in order to originally get it, you had to buy something in the first place. So as long as you don't pay too much for it, I'd say you try to pick that one up too. So next time I'll be doing another episode of Tori 3, where I'll be looking at Kamen Rider Drive type formula. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give a like. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. And if you're new and would like to see more, please subscribe. And for now, this is KRX50, writing off.